Hello and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and it's time for the AZORIUS color challenge. AZORIUS, it gets in my head. There's the old song and it's like, nah, notorious, notorious. And I just want to say, AZORIUS, AZORIUS. This is one of my favorite color combinations, if not the favorite. One of my first tournament wins ever was a blue-white control deck just made to take everything away. You see, AZORIUS, those are the colors blue and white of truth and justice. And there's, like, they make rules. They have a lot of rules, I guess, the AZORIUS guild. No wonder everybody hates them. They tell people no when all they want to do is say yes and cause anarchy, and we just shut that down. And of course, blue is scholarly, so it's a bunch of research. So we are nerds with a bunch of rules. No wonder nobody likes us, the AZORIUS. But this is blue-white control, designed not to make friends, but to bring home victories in a way that makes us feel smart and superior. I'm very self-aware of my own issues as a control mage, as hopefully you can see. So some of you will hate this, some of you will love this, but yeah, we're going to lean in for sure. So what is blue and white? What are they not good at? They are not good at the early game. They are not good at removing early creatures. We have some cards like Glass Casket that are kind of okay, but they make you tap out, which means you can't hold up counter magic or draw cards, which are important. So you see right away that this deck is very, it's in danger. If it's on the draw and the opponent goes 1-drop, 2-drop, we kind of have nothing and we won't have anything for a long time. So it's a challenging deck, but one of the best plays we have is Brazen Borrower to bounce those early plays, slow the opponent down. It also gives us a clock, and honestly, Brazen Borrower flashing in and attacking Narset has saved my butt so many times because Narset is the bane of a deck that loves to draw cards. Also down here I have 4 Quench. I don't love Quench, but Quench isn't that bad. It's actually a little bit better because all these decks are relying on these castles. The black castle, the blue castle in particular. And if they're using those castles to scry before their draw step or draw cards to keep pressure on you, Quench can still usually tag something because that's what they did with their mana. They smoothed and made other draws. So Quench isn't that bad, and you can throw it away to Chemist's Insight later in the game when it becomes irrelevant, and you just need something on turn 2. You need to make a play on turn 2 that slows the opponent down, whether it's Brazen Borrower or Quench. And the rest of the deck isn't quite good for that. Dovin's Veto is actually better later in the game to hold up when you're making other plays. Disenchant, that Witch's Oven, Trail of Crumbs, frickin' Fires of Invention, Experimental Frenzy, Cavalcade of Calamity, you name it, enchantments are out there. Ember Cleave, the Great Henge. Now that Oko's gone, people no longer have their artifacts being elks, and Disenchant isn't bad. It actually made its way into the main deck, and I did try as many as 3 at some points. When Cat Oven is the absolute enemy, you must disenchant. You must. Bay of Wishes, though, is the card that replaced one of the disenchants to give me access to a wish board that we'll go over in a second. But Absorb, Teferi, no Prison Realms. I found Prison Realm pretty bad. Can't hit those artifacts. Can't hit those enchantments. Very slow. Taps you out. Doesn't let you absorb. Doesn't let you Chemist's Insight. Very bad. Opt, though, and Chemist's Insight. These are what smooth your draws and try to get you to the right cards, because this deck is really only about a couple of cards. Brazen Borrower, Absorb, and Time Wipe. Brazen Borrower, Absorb, Time Wipe. Then later in the game, Gadwick, Time Wipe getting it back, Teferi bouncing it, becomes just a card advantage avalanche. But to get yourself to the late game, Brazen Borrower, Absorb, Time Wipe. That's what you need. So Opt and Chemist's Insight make sure that happens as often as possible. You also can never miss a frickin' land drop or you die, just so you know. So if you have options like main phase Chemist's Insight to draw a land, sometimes you just have to do it, especially if you don't have an Absorb. In the mana base, we have kind of one of our win cons, which is Castle Ardenvale, making 1/1s and beating the opponent to death. Gadwick can beat the opponent to death. Brazen Borrower beats more opponents to death than you would expect, but the true win cons are in the sideboard, accessible by Bay of Wishes. We'll go over here. So we have a little bit of early removal. Sometimes you just need to stay alive. So there's Devout Decree, another Disenchant, a Casket, a Veto, 2 Sorcerer's Spyglass. We'll come back to this. You don't fetch it with the Fae of Wishes too much. Ashiok, Dream Render, if the opponent is Arclight Phoenix or some other graveyard shenanigans. One of the main win cons, Jace, Willer, and Mysteries. You fetch the Jace, you empty your deck, you win. So you always have Fae of Wishes for Jace. If the opponent doesn't have a counterspell or you have a Teferi on the battlefield, they can't really stop it. So that is your I decked myself combo kill. Planar Cleansing, push a button to reset. Let's cover Karn really quick. So Cat Oven is a problem. There's so many cats, so many. And the game plan against the cat decks, or any deck that relies too much on artifacts and food, is you use Fae of Wishes to go get your Karn. You slam your Karn. You use your Karn to fetch some Spyglasses. Use some Spyglasses to shut down some Planeswalkers like Vraska. And the Karn itself shuts down the oven. There are a lot of times where you have a Fae of Wishes and you're not sure what you want, but you want some value. If your opponent plays any kind of artifacts or Planeswalkers, fetch the Karn, use the Karn to fetch the Spyglasses, and a Glass Casket. So it's kind of like a draw 3 where it's remove a Planeswalker, or stop a castle. Naming Castle Locthwain is not bad. And remove a creature is what basically you can turn your Granted into by fetching Karn the Great Creator. So he's kind of a side plan of a plan. Then we have the other cards here in the sideboard, like the big over-the-top cards. Finale of Glory can end the game against certain opponents. Finale of Revelation if you want to reshuffle your deck and go again for some reason. Mass Manipulation to steal all their stuff. And one of each castle, which you can fetch with Granted. Sometimes you just need to hit your land drops. You might as well hit the ones that are also win cons, or sort of win cons. I got one of each color because this deck is actually very mana and color intensive, which is why we have 4 frickin' Fabled Passage, as well as 4 Tranquil Cove and 4 Hallowed Fountain. You need the right colors in all the right places to make it work. So anyway, I've spent some time on this. I love this deck. I'm really excited to play it for you today. If it doesn't get to 7 wins, I don't know what will in Azorius. The color challenge gets truth and just and downright nerdy annoying. Let's dive right in. Let's let the nonsense begin. Borrower, Absorb, Time Wipe. That's what you need. Or on the draw, it's what you really, really need. Sometimes just being on the draw, you can't win against Supreme Aggression anyway, which is very common in the arena, so makes your games on the draw with this deck against any kind of aggro very lopsided, very sad. There doesn't seem to be a card that can really do much about that. And here is an aggro deck, so this is going to be tough. This is gonna be a tough one. Yeah, we need to have Brazen Borrower available right away. This other Tranquil Cove might be hard to slot in here, but hopefully we can draw another untapped land. I can't counter anything anyway. I may as well slow my opponent down and avoid the damage where I can. They might have a light up the stage. We can make it awkward. Maybe absorb it next turn. So yeah, right now it's Castle Vantress into absorb. The following turn, we need to cast a Chemist's Insight. Hopefully we're not under too much pressure, and then Time Wipe. There's also something to be said for getting out Brazen Borrower and then Time Wiping. It'll depend what we draw. This Rimrock Knight is our opponent's whole offense so far. That's refreshing. That's not the worst thing, but you can tell from the stick that there's either another Rimrock Knight or a Shock hanging out. And here comes the 3-1. Time to take some damage. Opponent with a Rimrock Knight, targeting a Rimrock Knight. I still think I can absorb a light up the stage or something of more consequence here. So I'm taking 5. I hates it, but I'm doing it. And there it is. Let's just not, please. Alright, they didn't have a second light up the stage. So now we'll definitely be able to Time Wipe. So this is a Chemist's Insight turn. And take a lot of damage turn. I could also play the Brazen Borrower to get it back with the Time Wipe, but if the opponent has a Shock, they basically undo that play. And here is the passing, as the customary signature casting of the Sweeper is about to occur. The opponent's gonna Bone Crush my face. So they have a good follow-up now to the time wipe. Good for them, right? We can also play the Fae of Wishes and have Absorb open. That's really interesting, right? Because that just brick walls these knights. I like that a lot. And we can get it back with the time wipe eventually. But it might make the opponent play more to the board. If the opponent tries to kill it, we definitely absorb it. Make them do it again. Make them do it again. Okay. So we're going to absorb all their burn spells. And let's see if they play this giant. They go for it. Yeah. They didn't fear the time wipe anymore because we didn't play it on curve. Sometimes that pays off. Now we need to survive. Big turn. Okay, Scorch Spitter. Think I can work with that. I think I can. It is 2 damage a turn. It will get nasty, but it gives us room to draw some cards and make some plays. Down to 7. The card is a land. Let's cast Chemister's Insight. Dovin's Veto, Tranquil Cove. We could also cast an Opt, or we could get out this Borrower. Let's get out this Borrower. It's the more mana efficient play. We're going to want it sometime anyway. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I want the life from the Cove the most. I think every chance I get to do that, I should. And I'm probably discarding something to... I'm probably discarding the Fabled Passage to an Insight here. Down to the wire. Here comes the Scorch Spitter. And the opponent looking at possibly another Rimrock Knight. I'm going to veto it, I think. I could absorb it too, to make sure I gain the life. It doesn't look like I'll have a lack of veto targets, but if a Torbrand comes out, that could be super awkward. So yeah, let's use the veto. Alright, so now I'm going to cast this Opt this turn anyway. Let's use it now in case we see a Borrower or something to prevent this damage. I'll take another Opt, it's fine. Drop off the Passage. Deeper and deeper. Deeper and deeper in the deck. Alright, that Quench is getting discarded to this Chemister's. Legion Warboss. Let's start with the Opt. Probably getting absorbed, but let's see if we can find something else that would change that. Alright, let's drop off the Quench. Go home. I'd rather have land than a Quench right now. There's a Time Wipe. I could take 3 this turn and Time Wipe. And still have Absorb. I think that's totally fine. I don't think the opponent can burn me out this way. Alright, hit him with the Borrower. Wipe the field. Return the Borrower. And yeah, I want Veto, Absorb, or Borrower all available as we try to close this thing. Alright, return of the Borrower. Trying to clock him, trying to get him dead. Disenchant. Ready for that Experimental Frenzy that's probably not in the deck. Tapped Hallowed Fountain. Alright, let's go for a Scry. No. Yes. All the Quenches, baby. Did we draw all 4? 3. We could have drawn 3. Okay. Get in there, buddy. Down to 5. Let's try out this Opt. Time Raveler feels good. Just for shutting down instant speed effects.
Right on schedule. I've got it.
And we'll plus here. Drawing the card isn't that important. Annoy Steamkin. I can bounce that. That's a good Teferi target. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, we can still have Veto if we do this. Our opponent only has one card. No and no. Another borrower. Send it back. Like a bad gift from Amazon, just send it back. And brazen your face. There's our mighty castle. The other win con coming online. Chandra. Let's absorb it just to finish the job. And that's the game. Man, this is reminding me of that first game where we kept 2 lands and we're like, yeah, we'll get there. We got the double quench. Quench is good early, it's bad late. But our opponent's gonna get their turn 1 and their turn 2, and it looks like we're just going to lose. When the opponent gets to go 1-drop, 2-drop on the play against this deck, our odds of winning it plummets. It's not reasonable. All right, Fabled Passage is a tap land at least. Maybe your draw isn't perfect. Yeah, forget that idea. All right. Cauldron Familiar. Gutter Bones. We're going to be losing 3 life a turn for the foreseeable future. But we have drawn the land we need, so I can't complain too much. If this Chemister's Insight can pull us into a time wipe and the lands to cast it, if a Brazen Borrower or Teferi comes to slow the opponent's roll just a little, maybe there's a chance. Maybe, just maybe. Whatever the opponent plays here, it's getting quenched. I mean, that's not exactly the thing you want to quench, but it's something. Why not vetoed, you might say? Because veto works when the opponent has mana to pay for it. Quench doesn't. You have to make sure you spend your quenches early when they can be effective. You don't want to hold a quench and then find your opponent has the mana to pay for it. It's very sad. All right. The opponent had no problem getting to 4 mana. There's another quenchable thing. Let's do it. It was also another vetoable thing, so the choice was real, but I stand by my position. In the meantime, we're just going to take this endless beating from this black garbage. Should be the name of the deck. Black garbage. This awkward little trash pile of cards. Quench does get second life because of cards like Castle Locthwain drawing into cards for mana. Alright. Here they come. Fall into 6. And we'll draw 2. The disenchant is ready for the oven, my friends. Okay. So we saw this in the last game, where we kind of sucked in the opponent with the Fae of Wishes with the Absorb open. Just having the 1/4 out here can do a lot. It's a very important card. Very important when it can play this role. Plus we don't have the time wipe anyway. We'll have to draw into it. Angrath's Rampage. To veto or not to veto? This one's a lot tougher. The Absorb is the mana efficient play. The opponent seems to have no lack of spells for me, but the Absorb can hit a creature someday. But next turn I'm probably looking at a turn where I want to use Veto and Chemister's Insight, so... And plus the life, I mean that life is important. Another Gutter Bones, okay, that doesn't attack through the Fae. If I'm the opponent though, I'm still attacking. Because you can just keep getting Gutter Bones back. But they're not going to do it this turn. Alright. 1, 2, 3. I might need 4 blue at some point, which I don't have right now, so I'll get another blue source. It's another turn where we really need this window to cast Insight, but actually Castle Ardenvale blockers aren't the worst. Okay. Veto. We've been able to layer our counter spells and hit everything we need to hit with those, which has been what's kept us in the game. That and the opponent's kind of got these crummy cards, but you better believe they're going to start attacking here. And let's protect the life total. We're taking 4. I think I'm much better off here, especially with the opponent having 1 black mana open. I'm much better off casting the Insight. Down to 4. There's the time wipe. Yeah. Bring it back, blow him up. Have 2 mana open for Disenchant or Brazen Borrower. Next turn we can cast Granted. Probably go get Karn. Make sure that ovens don't happen. We can Spyglass the Castle Lock Lane. Alright, you drew a card. You hit a land. My turn. We'll gain this life. And you might see what I was talking about with the Quench is better when they have Castle. So let's go Granted. Let's grab the Karn and pass the turn. Hold up the Borrower, hold up Quench. And we see the Castle activation again. And here's a Cauldron Familiar. The 4th one, I might add. I'll quench it because I can. Otherwise, I'm not doing much with this turn. I don't want to borrow it. Castles just make the auto-tapper do weird stuff, in case you haven't seen it and you're wondering what the hell I'm doing. Alright, here's the Spyglass. Show me that hand. I had a feeling it was Claim the Firstborn. Not going to be a good card against me unless I play right into it badly with the Borrower. So, Castle is shut off. Your turn. And Karn shuts off Witch's Oven on his own, which is why he's here. Let's go also get... What else do we need to turn off in this deck? Chandra is a good one, so we never have to worry about Chandra. And we can pass. I think we're getting to the point where we're either flashing back Chemister's Insights, discarding Borrowers. I hate that, though. I really like Borrowers. Let's see if the opponent tries to use Claim the Firstborn to give haste to the Midnight Reaper. That makes it a pretty good Borrower target. They can do it. Like, it's a play you can make. You can use Claim the Firstborn, target my Midnight Reaper, it gains haste. I know you already control it, but sometimes haste is worth it. I think the opponent's trying to use the castle. There should be a little light flashing over here. No, they're not going to use the claims. I could discard the Disenchant now that I have the Karn. I don't need to worry about their oven. So I think that's fine. Let's drop off the Disenchant. Draw these cards. Teferi's good against this. We could also borrow it now. Let's do it. Now we can start plussing, but I'm not going to turn anything into a... I'm not going to turn anything here into a creature. Here's Teferi, but we'll just plus for now. We could bring out a Fae of Wishes, but remember to Claim the Firstborns. Don't really want to be attacked by it. There's no reason to right now, so we'll be patient. We can absorb the Midnight... We can absorb the Midnight guy, Midnight Reaper, if we wish. Not have to worry about card draw. I also have a Glass Casket that would be perfect for this, which I can get the turn after this one. All I have to do is bounce this with Teferi. The problem with that is if the opponent does find the Claim the Firstborn line, I guess we just block with a Castle Dork. Oh, we're going for Mayhem Devil too. That's a good time wipe. I mean, the opponent draws 2 cards. It's not a great time wipe. Does the opponent have anything to sacrifice here? No. This is fine. Let's make a dork. Just so we have a blocker over here. We'll use this on the Midnight Reaper.
Might be a bad idea.
Might be a bad idea. Submit 0.
Evil cannot withstand a righteous heart.
Land for turn. Say go. If the opponent wants to use Claim the Firstborn on the 1/1, we can make another. And here it comes. Okay, the opponent is going with the claim. You keep trying to use that castle. It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. Base. Base is the place they want the gutter bones back. So, make this 1/1. And up. I guess I can only make 1/1/1. We're short a white. Borrower can't block. Am I opting here? Suppose I am. Too clutch. Too clutch. I sort of want the devil on the field so I can wrath it away. But I guess bouncing it makes the opponent replay it. That's not really a cost here. But it's something. So we bounce you. I know, I'm taking forever. I am aware. It's a blue-white conundrum that we have decisions to make. I'll try to hurry it up a bit. Alright, so we'll plus the Teferi. Minus the Karn. Go for the casket. Stuff the Midnight Reaper in a box. And say go. We can block the Mayhem Devil. And try to set up a good time wipe where we also get back a Brazen Borrower or a Fae of Wishes. Without exposing it to claim the Firstborn. Without taking any damage. Okay. Opponent is still trying to use the castle. They have apparently never seen the spyglass. It's over here. This is what did it. Right there. That's the culprit. That's the culprit. You're gonna have to kill that artifact. Maybe they're, what do you think? Are they submitting an error report? Is there a bug in the system? Let's make a 1/1. Block. It's kind of funny. I don't know. Is it funny, you guys, or is it sad? Sad or funny? Let me know in comments.
Oh, say hello. No.
All right.
I'm not making this up as I go.
So we have this at instant speed, so we can play the Fae and pass the turn. The opponent will probably go for Claim the Firstborn. I can respond to that with the Time Wipe. Oh man, they're playing Knight of the Ebon Legion too? Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. Oh goodness gracious. They're so wholesome, I know, in my language. Goodness gracious. Good grief. Jeez. Oh boy. North Midwest. What can I say? North Midwest United States language. Classic boomer talk. So, here we go. I mean, attacking me won't do you much good. But the opponent didn't go for Claim the Firstborn, so I guess they think they know what's up. But if they're not gonna do that, I don't have to time wipe now. I can draw cards. And more cards. Because I don't need a castle to do the job. Alright, we have to remember to plus this so that we have the instant speed ability.
Allow me to introduce you to a friend of mine. Let's try this.
I keep playing my untapped lands because I just don't know what I'm going to need the mana for. Probably something, though. Get a point of damage in because we can. Oh, Lord. I mean, yeah, you can do that. That's a play. You did it. Give the opponent plays they can make, they will try to make them. Funny how that works. Alright, your turn. Oh, you don't want to play out all that. Oh, alright. Give me some priority, I'm gonna blow up your stuff. They've shown they don't want to claim the firstborn on this anyway. Oh, never mind. Never you mind. They're all going to die. Uh-huh. Out of there. Alright, let's go use Granted. Let's go grab Finale. And call this game. Put a wrap on this one. Submit 0. Pass the turn. We'll end step Finale for all it's worth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. It's exactly as we wanted it. My turn. The magic number. Bounce this so that the opponent doesn't get any ideas about blocking. And we'll send the team. No, stop! Stop, by God, he's already dead. These two landers, and this one's on the play, but I have Opt, and that's the whole reason I'm keeping it. I believe in Opt to find more land, and it has to be blue. It actually has to be blue. To turn on the absorbs. Mountain. Ominous mountain. Nope. Has to be a land. Perfect. Yep, we are doing it. We are now doing it, folks. Borrower, borrower, absorb, absorb. That can buy you time. We'll have to draw some card advantage, but have faith. Harpooner is here. Harpooner is borrowed. You know, theft, borrowing, same thing. Thick borrower, for those of you who watch my Monday meta update. The thick borrower. Doing it. Let's go ahead and start absorbing things. We could also try to trade. This can block a flyer, and Crawl Harpooners can kill flyers. So we could take this opportunity to get out a borrower. Like, absorbing this isn't exactly a big deal, but if we can force our opponent into a race, they may just want to trade with it, in which way we turn our 3/1 adventure borrower into a removal spell. Okay, the opponent must still have a land, or they wouldn't be sitting here. You know what I don't miss? That pause. That long pause in Once Upon a Time land. Now that has to get countered. So that screws up our racing idea. That endless pause for Once Upon a Time. And people snapping them off at the wrong times. Oh my god, so many things about just the existence of that card were tilting and annoying, and it's gone. It's gone! We did it, Internet. We killed it. Okay, our opponent, if these are relevant spells, I'm running pretty short on relevant spells myself. Jesus. That is not fun. They drew 2 of them? Oh, but then they pass. I'm going to wait another turn before we Gadwick. That's a really good draw here. Reloading is no small thing. Okay, Harpoonage. Embercleave. All right, let's do some thick borrowing. And I think that that's the play. I think we bounce our Harpooner. I know it can come back down and fight the Borrower, but I'm okay with that because that's a trade. There is... All right. We'll have to find Disenchant. We can go get Karn, something like that for this. Let's go ahead and draw these cards. If this lives, it can actually be a huge problem. And there is Fae of Wishes. We can just go straight get Disenchant. I don't think Karn's particularly great against red-green. And if the opponent wants to re-equip this Embercleave now, we can just kind of tap their creature for a while if they don't get rid of Gadwick. So they do have to get Gadwick dead, and they do. They have the ambush. Okay. We could just straight draw the nuts, you know, that's okay. What are we fetching? Well, we're definitely attacking because, you know, can't block. I think I just need more cards. I have a lot of mana. I don't have a lot of cards. Let's go Granted. I don't have an Aether Gust in here. I guess that would have been sweet. This is kind of a tricky one. Against Gruul, though, against the Embercleave deck, Disenchant strong. But I do think I just want to be able to Finale. And I think it's just Finale of Glory here. For power and toughness on the battlefield. I think there's a lot of risk to tapping out to drawing a ton of cards. Mass Manipulation's good too. What are we on? We're on 6. We're going to 7. We're going to 8. That's steal 2 things. It's pretty darn solid. But this is a tough choice. I think I'm going with this Finale. We'll go like this so we can opt this turn as well. End the turn. So one of my big concerns here is second Embercleave. Second Embercleave would hurt a lot. And you see the opponent careful tapping. They want all their green mana available. Maybe we'll see a Collision Colossus here. And yeah, go for it. By all means. I mean, Collision Colossus will hurt pretty bad. Oh, it's a Rimrock Knight. With 2 green open. Well, I'll throw off the opt. Maybe the opponent will do something in response. No. Keep the veto. Like I said, future Embercleave is a fear. Right, that resolves. Let's go ahead and disenchant your Embercleave, but I do suspect another one. And we take a nice big hit, but the opponent's going to scoop it up. Disenchant on Embercleave is the tilt. Alright, on the play, a lot of card draw. I'll try it. I'm very nervous about it. This is awkward because, like, it's all tapped lands unless I fetch a Plains. I'm going to lead with the Tranquil Cove, and we'll see where it goes from there. Because we might draw a Plains, and then we don't have to worry about our passage. Uh-oh, mono red. All aggro. Yeah, all aggro decks today. Just what I didn't want to play. I guess we'll have to go get the white source now, so that we can play the Teferi next turn. Yeah, this hand might be too awkward to live. We might be dead in the water. Ooh, okay though. We drew the blue source. Gonna need a lot more than that if we want to compete this time. Time wipe. Okay. So we have potentially Chemisters into time wipe. Our opponent's a little constrained on mana, it appears. We'll see if they can have a big turn. We drew the land. Let's go get another blue source for Gadwick. Actually, we could just play Gadwick and draw a card here and have a body on the field. Do I hate that? Is that better than a Chemisters? Actually, I don't hate it one bit. The opponent's draw is kind of awkward. Playing Trained Armadon / draw a card. It's better than 4 mana, draw 2. Can still make something like a light up the stage awkward, and we can get it back with time wipe if it lives. bit, yes, by all means. Okay, we're attacking with both. Alright, we'll make you make the plays. And this also makes it hard for the Steamkin to produce a ton of mana this turn. I'm not worried about getting Gadwick back. Not really. With 2 Chemisters Insights, I have no lack of cards. I think the best play here was just to make the opponent battle through it. Another time wipe. Lovely. Well, let's start using them. Make the opponent rebuild, keep the life total very high. Here's the Rimlock. Rimrock? Rimrock. Brazen Borrower, nice. 3 blue. I do usually end up wanting quad blue at some point, so let's do it. Opponent didn't shock my face for the fun of it. Furvy Champ, sure. Kind of wonder if I use the castle to make a 1/1 if the opponent will shock the 1/1 or if they'll give up their knight. But I think what I really need to do this turn is Chemister's Insight. So let's go Brazen Borrower, Petty Theft, your Rimrock Knight. The opponent can cast the Adventure side again if they wish, but I could Dovin's Veto it, which leaves the opponent with just a 1/1. Oh, they're going for it. I think I'm just better. I think this is fine, though. I need to cast these Chemister's Insights. They are dead in my hand as just 4 mana, 2 other cards. They need to become real cards to have an impact on this game. There we go. And they are good ones. Pass the turn. Keeping that life total high. We're going to need some absorbs. We haven't even had absorb yet, but it will be helpful when the time comes. Rimrock Knight. Yeah, let that be. We've got a time wipe. Fervent Champ getting in there. So what I'm picturing for this turn, if it goes exactly the way I want it to, is Dovin's Veto and Chemister's Insight. Veto on a light up the stage. The opponent's thinking here. There might be another Rimrock Knight. I also have the option of playing the Brazen Borrower into the time wipe so that I have the Petty Theft back in my hand. That's just a little extra kind of value. But I'm picturing this being a counter you light up the stage. No. Interesting. Well, rather than play the Brazen Borrower and get it shocked, let's cast Chemister's Insight, draw these cards. Keeping it coming. Seems like a good spot for a time wipe. Just get those 2 out of there. Make the opponent rebuild their pressure in the face of Quench, Veto, Borrower. The mana advantage is real. Shock your face, sure. Not in a hurry to counter that when I only have enough mana for 1 counter for the turn. We gotta make it something good, hopefully. 4th land. Torbran, that is quenchable. It's also borrowerable, but I'm not in a hurry to fire that off. And the opponent's gonna scoop that. They do not like getting quenched. Nobody likes getting quenched. And is pretty great. Pretty freaking great. It's tempting to get a turn 1 opt going, but I'm never really in a hurry to play them. It could get ugly though. Yeah, I'm just gonna opt on turn 1, make sure we hit land drops, make sure that we're finding the right cards as quickly as possible. More mono red? Maybe. The stick is very it's shocking. Yeah, more quench. Let's counter all their little spells, especially if they don't have a 1-drop. Alright, we got a shock for this. Heh. Well, don't bother shocking me, I'll do it for you. I got this. I got this. Okay. We're in a staring match with mono red. This is great. I can do this all day. Not going to take that land, though. Now I'm looking for some action. I think we'll go ahead and get this tap land out of the way. I can't think of a reason I would play Absorb this turn, but I do want to play the Quenches before the opponent hits enough land drops to make Quench less effective. Plus, I want that sweet Azorius music. You hear that music change when you slam that Hallowed Fountain? Yes, we're just going to torture them. Sure. Get out. Nobody likes you. Just go away. Just leave. Oh, this is evil. All right. I'll just do this now. More blue. There are definitely games where you need quad blue. You have mass manipulation in the sideboard, by God. But you also just want to cast like all angles of a Brazen Borrower and still counter something. It happens. I veto your Bone Crusher Giant. Cute value play. Are you enjoying your adventure so far? Alright, now I've got a castle, so if the opponent does nothing, I can make 1/1s. But yeah, you probably just don't want to fire off Bone Crusher Giant in the main phase. You can wait till your opponent does something. 5 mana. Bone Crush me. Sure. This one's fine. I'll take the 2. You're gonna light that stage? Nope, just gonna cast that. Quench. Got the other side of it. No problem. 0 deaths. But we are running low. Like, we've hit a ton of land. We need to draw like a Gadwick the Wizened. Let's not Chandra. Let's just not. Are you... This is kind of weird. Are you secretly Cavalcade? Are you Cavalcade with cards that don't work with Cavalcade? That would be weird. Because Chandra I think of as a Cavalcade card. The Adventure cards I think of as from the Burn deck. But, of course, you've seen the color challenge. You know my biases. Opponent's got a Steamykins, which we let that resolve. We have a Brazen Borrower to bounce it. We can make 1/1s to block it. It's not a scary card. You can kill that if you want to. That's okay. Yep, the opponent's very, very proud of their shock here. I can definitely wait to borrow this, though. I don't have to do it now. That's a lot of land we've drawn. We have ripped many, many land. We're gonna need a hand refiller. Where's my chemisters? Where's Gaddock? Okay. You're an annoying one. Can't really... Well, I guess I can assemble multiple 1/1s, but it's gonna take a long time with these castles hanging around. It's fine. This is fine. Okay, here's my 1/1. The opponent shocked the last one. Let's see if they fire it off again. And they do. All right. We'll go ahead and Petty Theft away the Steamkin now. I'm still saving the Absorb for a Haymaker. For something that can beat me on its own. Something like a Torbrand. The 1/1s can, given time, give these critters fits. That's a lot of land. I keep saying it, but it's a lot of land. I probably have to absorb the next threat no matter what it is. Ooh, attacks with the Steamkin. Ooh, don't agree with this move. The castle won't help the Steamkin here. It'll get... The Fervent Champion will hit me for a good number. But it won't help the Steamkin. Dead. Alright, let's have a borrower. Let's start clocking the opponent back. And we draw the time wipe. Sweet. Don't need to use it just yet. Opponent top decks. It's a Bone Crusher Giant. That can be absorbed. There's two sides to that thing. Neither one is fun. And now we're sort of counter-racing our opponent. Let's let them use Castle here. They can only use one. So it's just 2 points. Don't need to throw away our 1/1 for it. We're going to try to build a few 1/1s. Maybe threaten a gang block in the future. And like I said, reverse clock the opponent, because we can. Now we can play you and plus you. We could also minus, draw a card, use Borrower, bounce this on our opponent's turn, replay Borrower. It saves a combat step, it draws an extra card. It's a little convoluted though. It's a bit much.
I'll protect you.
Plus now we have instant speed time wipe, which could be awesome. And this is fine. This doesn't bother me. If the opponent's going to attack the Teferi, that's great. Especially if they're only going to deal 1 to it and not use the castles. So what do you have? Alright. Maybe a Slaying Fire? But you can't play anything at instant speed because of Teferi. Which might be an oops from the opponent. We'll see. Because if you weren't going to do anything with this mana, you may as well use those castles. Down to 8. So, well, you notice we kind of swung that race. Now we're willing to attack our opponent. Okay. Legion War Boss, sure. Now we're probably looking at time wipe. Let's let the opponent figure out their attacks. Sure. Alright. Wipe them. Probably could have waited for a castle activation. Little mistake there, but it's okay. The opponent's out of here. 6-0, I believe, against all aggro decks, the thing I was most fearing. Feels lucky. Ooh. So I've kept a lot of 2-landers today. It's worked out. This is the worst one I think I've seen, because we have no actual 2-mana play unless you count this disenchant. We are on the draw. I'm mulliganing this one. If Borrower is not good, the hand isn't good, but it's kind of like a stall till time wipe, and the opt can really help. I think I put you away. I think so. Might get ugly. We do need double white here. All right, red tree. Let's see if you are our, what would it be? 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth red-based aggro deck of the day? No, 6th red-based aggro deck of the day. And it looks like it is. I mean, turn 1 Gutter Bones. That is how you do it, I guess. Will this be the one that gets us? We're Wounded Animal. We mulliganed. Our opponent has the 1-drop on 1. I'm sure they have the 2-drop on 2. Like, those kind of curves are so hard for this deck to beat. Okay, at least it's Priest of the Forgotten Gods. It's kind of a clunky one. It's not the most aggressive card. Ooh. I'm going to take that. That's going to probably be our turn 4 play. And then we need to draw another white source. So I'm probably borrowing this priest. I can wait till there's another creature on the stack though. Or something bigger. Like if the opponent plays Mayhem Devil here, that's what we borrow. Knight of the Ebon Legion, gross. Very gross. That is one that is scary. So we pass to end. I guess we theft it. Just get it off the board. That's one we do need to sweep up. Alright. So we can fetch a Plains with the Passage, and then Castle is double white. So we can play another blue this turn. get the borrower down. Just to have something out there to time wipe. The opponent doesn't really want to sacrifice the Knight of the Ebon Legion to the Priest of the Forgotten Gods. I'm very curious what plays they'll make this turn. We're going to be low on life. Giving our opponent 2 more attacks. Having a Knight of the Ebon Legion. It's going to be really close to dead. So we play this out, even though the priest might get it, because I don't think the opponent, like, I'm just hoping that they don't want to sacrifice the card they have here. They don't know we play white yet, so we may as well disguise it. Oh, should have attacked. Alright, that was a mistake. That was a straight up tilt play. Got me there. Oh, ooh, I guess that is a way that it could go worse, right? A lot worse. Everybody in. Pump the Knight, maybe? Well, if the opponent... They have to remember to sacrifice my borrower, or else I'll get it back. That's not bad. Devil. Oh, wow. Yeah, if they had held up the priest here, it would have been devastating, but they didn't. Alright. Oh, no! Oh, no! Oops. Oops. Oh, no, I didn't... Oh, my passage. It got me. Oh, I'm supposed to sacrifice that in response to the devil. I played this game badly. I don't know what came over me. I was having a good day, I think. Just totally whiffed here. Down the stretch, in the clutch. But it's not over yet. We're going to go to 4 from the Fabled passage. We're going to need some Absorb, some cards that keep us alive. We're going to sweep this board, and our opponent only has 1 card. They do have a castle, but it's very mana intensive. No! That cost me. That 1 life cost me. I might have lost this game anyway. They had a decent curve. They were way ahead. But man, did I misplay that game. Embarrassing. All right. Played terrible. Gonna rally. We're on the play. Our curve is not a disaster. Our opponent's definitely making it look like they're going to be our 7 out of 8th red deck today. Let's use the passage now. We get a blue source. Never again will I hold off using a passage. Learned my lesson. Oh, God. What have you got for me, Battle Fox? Look at this Fox. This Fox is so ready right now. Just gonna start flipping my Fox at him. And it's Temple Scry to the bottom. Ooh, maybe we get to play against the Jeskai deck. I can't imagine anything they would play that I'd have to Brazen Borrower. Okay, 2 straight tap lands. Here is the Teferi. I'm just going to plus the Teferi for now. We can always draw a card next turn if we don't find a land. And we do find a land. Life is beautiful. So, plus again.
Here we go.
Gonna do it. Here we go. Blue mana, pass turn. And we'll see if the opponent just slams their Fires of Invention here. This deck doesn't hate it when the opponent has fires. It can kind of dial into countering the useful things. Of course, Quench changes that. With Quench being a key counterspell in the deck. Like the last several games I played against fires, I had 4 vetoes, no quenches. Quench being a key card does change that because the opponent can always pay for it. And it's Kesmina. Sure. So this reads, spells that target a creature or planeswalker cost 2 more. I could borrow this. I could also borrow the next one. I want to get this Chemister's Insight cast. We need to draw some cards, and that's a Ritual of Soot. Opponent is Secret Grixis. They've been Secret Grixis this whole time. Alright, go away.
I am not making this up.
Time wipe. There are definitely worlds where I want this mana, so I'm going to pay the life for those hypothetical worlds. And settle in, we're up against some kind of a Grixis deck without black mana, but that means Thought Erasure could come online at any freaking second.
Every day is a new lesson.
I bet it is. Enter the God Eternals. Okay. And there's your black, and here's a Narset. And Narset is not a good card for us, but we do not have a counter right now. Opponent also played around Quench. Let's go ahead and use an Opt here. Wow. Cannot find a counter. Makes Gadwick look pretty bad. So, I think what I'm going to do is Brazen Borrower attack the Narset. So, this comes down. It gets to search. There is a Thought Erasure. The opponent gets to cast that. There's not much I can do about it. So we let them pick. The good news is there isn't a good pick for them either. Not really. They can take one borrower, but the other borrower is coming for Narset. And they keep on top. Okay. Play this side. Brazen Borrower has performed pretty well in my kill the Narset role.
You are a mighty warrior.
We'll plus here and say go.
Here goes nothing.
We miss a land drop, which is tough. We did not want to miss any land drops in this matchup. So I think I let Teferi take a poke here. I think I hold up the Quench. It might not be able to hit anything, but we'll see. Dazzle. Okay, well, paid off. Does get to hit something. Now remember, we can't Brazen Borrower this or this because of the static ability. Spells cost 2 more. We can flash it in, but I don't think we want to. I think we still want to hold it to remove the token. The opponent knows we top deck that Quench because of the Thought Erasure the turn before.
I've got it.
So now Borrower can take down Kasmina.
I will
We
return with even more disciples.
Fortunately, we hit our land drop. Now we can Borrower this token when the time comes. We could also let Teferi keep getting attacked and draw more cards. Our opponent finds a Castle Vantress. That's going to turn this into a heck of a long game. Ooh, I don't have a good answer for you. But it's not really card advantage, it's card filtering, just like the castle. This is going to be a long matchup. Also, if the opponent wants to use it here, that's okay.
Your heart can overcome any challenge.
They're going to try to kill the Teferi, but now the Borrower can get it. Theft. And now second Brazen Borrower can attack down the Scions if the opponent fails to kill this one. And they're going to play Granted. Let's see what they get. Chandra is what a lot of people go for. I usually beat Chandra. It hasn't been the problem you'd think, and instead it's Command the Dreadhorde. Where are you at? 16? There's a Gadwick? It's kind of a strong arm play, isn't it? Alright, we're going to play second Borrower. Can we draw a counter? We draw Quench. That's not good enough if the opponent has another land. But we'll give it a chance. So I'm going to attack the opponent's face. The philosophy behind that is take their life total away, and their Command the Dreadhorde isn't very good. They get to use their Scions. And I had a chance to kill the Scions. We'll see if this comes back to get me. And they have the land. So if they want to cast the command, they can, but, I mean, does that help them with the Borrowers doing their thing? It's a Nicole Bolas. Okay. has the abilities of other planeswalkers. And the opponent wants to kill a Brazen Borrower. Bouncing it to time wipe it doesn't make a lot of sense here. Let's go ahead and cast Chemister's Insight. Maybe we can draw something. Nope. Alright, gone. So I have to take out that Bolus for sure. Ooh. Well, Quench doing something. There's a veto. You definitely want the castle on the board. Definitely want the Bolus gone. We're gonna have to watch out for these Scions. But I think that, I mean, we have Time Wipe to bounce Borrower. Borrower could also just reset the Scions right now if I used Teferi to target it. But I don't think I need that card. So we'll just plus the Teferi, say go.
Might be a bad idea.
See what the opponent does. Draw a card, then discard a card. Yep.
My plan is crystallizing.
Another land in the graveyard. Fires of Invention. Sure. I don't mind those. I really don't. Like I said, the only thing that it really messes with is Quench. So now the opponent can either cast their Fae of Wishes, which they wouldn't be able to get back, or they cast Command the Dread Horde. They have to watch their life total. They want Bolus and they want Narset. This would drop them to 3. It's a gutsy play. I think I have to counter it. Now, I can make a 1/1, which can keep the Scions from ultimating, or I could dig and try to find another counterspell. I think I try to find another counterspell, and these time wipes can go. I want to hit my land drops. Ooh, didn't leave blue up. Mistake. So now we have to set back the Scions. We could also bounce them and keep the pressure on the life total. I think I like that better. Well, not a lot better. Not enough.
I need a hand, Will.
We'll make the opponent recast their fires. Why not?
Oh, I've done the hero thing.
There's a veto. Nice.
Let me synthesize the facts.
So we were concerned about life total back when we were afraid we might not be able to counter that Command the Dread Horde. The game is shifting, and we have to move in a different direction. I don't think we can absolutely wear our opponent out here. Okay, are they casting just the 1/4? Sweet. Well, what I was saying is I don't think we can beat our opponent down. So now I think we do have to focus on wearing them out to kind of take back what I just said. So now we can blow this up. That will be nice. Yes. Making a 1/1 when we plan to blow up the board isn't good.
I've got time.
Let's go get another blue. Got plenty of white, I think. Okay. So the play. Time wipe'ems. Grinding through this castle is going to be really hard. We're probably going to need our own Fae Wishes granted to get something sweet from the sideboard. Alright. So I need to bounce this anyway. Well, I might find something else to bounce, so I'll just say go. There's also neat things you can do, like you can catch your opponent. If the opponent spends their turn using their castle, we can bounce their fires, and then their mana's like constricted, but they have so much mana now that doesn't matter anymore. That's more of a mid-game play, not a late-game play. Interesting.
Let us plan for the trials ahead.
Okay, well, they only have one spell to play. It's not like Fires is going to do much for them here. So I guess they're making no plays. Bounce this now, bounce this later. Let's get the Chemist's Insight cast. Let's be mana efficient. There is our Fae of Wishes. Hell yeah.
Don't worry, I got this.
Let's go ahead and send you home. What are we probably getting? Karn can get a bunch of Sorcerer's Spyglasses, which can be pretty good, but we're going to do this at instant speed on our opponent's turn. We should be able to win the game. There's all kinds of powerful things that could happen. You kept both on top. But we should be able to leverage this to a win, I think. On from Dreams. Nah. Nah. Scions are fine. I don't mind those coming down and messing around for a while as long as they don't ultimate.
By my side, I do not fear the unknown. My answers lie in the cold truth.
Scions discarding Scions makes sense. Alright, end step. Granted. I can steal their Scions. I like the Karn line though. Just getting Spyglasses and slowly shutting them down completely. Getting Finale, I might just kill them. They can't play spells on my turn. So end step Finale might just be lethal, but I like this. Well, Narset's a good one. But that's one I have to keep off the board anyway, because of the passive is so strong against me. Don't worry about bouncing the fires here. So we're going to absorb the Narset, which means we could run you out. It's a little risky. If the opponent finds a way to kill it, we're just kind of SOL. So yeah, we'll pass the turn for now. The other thing I could have done is played it and then used a fairy to bounce it. In hindsight, maybe that's the Nutter Butters. Alright, absorb you. And what's your last card? Is its name Nicole Bolas? Ooh. Okay, you get whatever you want, but you can't use it this turn. And I get to know what it is. Which makes Sorcerer's Spyglass, the second one in the sideboard, really good. Casualties of War. Yep, it's your second spell. You can't play it. So we need to keep Casualties of War from happening. Well, if we don't let fires happen, it can't happen. I guess we start there. Bounce your fires. See if we can draw into the answer. We have a lot of answers in the deck for this. Nope. Awkward. Okay, again. Disenchant the fires. But that doesn't stop casualties from happening. Okay. We still need to draw a counter. So, 1, 2, 3. We can draw 4 off our Gadwick. Interesting game. Tough spot. It's also not the absolute end of the world if casualties happens, it's just a big pain. It's a setback that will take time to recover from, and there is an absorb. Okay. I'm just going to plus for this turn. The opponent next turn is going to go fires casualties, so they're not going to kill the Spyglass, so I may as well use it. Get some damage. End of turn, discard a card. This Cove can go. if you scry here, oh my god, I get to quench fires. I get to quench fires because our opponent still upkeep scryed. Gutsy. Gutsy magician. It's one of those lines that just kind of lets me have a chance. Tap your Scions, because Gadwick is crazy. Tapping all kinds of non-land permanents. Alright, give me another Spyglass. Let's have a peek. Drawn from Dreams, Casualties of War. Let's name Nicol Bolas, the Dragon God. Turn that off. So the opponent can no longer cast the Casualties of War, but they're not limited to 2 spells a turn. Important to remember. Soldier up. Hit. Let's go. We could replay Fae of Wishes. I don't think so. Who knows what I might need all this mana for. Ripping it off the top. I think we countered that just to counter the Casualties of War. And make our opponent pay mana for their Drawn from Dreams. I want that Disenchant back. I guess there are only 14 cards in my deck. And there's the Disenchant down there on the bottom. But we don't have a Castle Vantress to scry with. Weird. Alright, in response, let's do this. Careful what you wish for. So they'll have a pretty stacked hand. How's my absorb count? It's running low. Actually, we've spent 2. So there's 2 more here in the deck. That's kind of amazing. Well, do I play the Brazen Borrower or do I play Chemister's Insight and try to make sure I have absorb? I think right now the game is in a little bit of doubt. I do have Fae of Wishes for Jace. Yeah, I mean, that's a win con too. Don't think all these time wipes are necessary. I just have a hard time discarding Teferi. It's a blind spot in my life. Just want him to be so good. All right, which one of you is... You're the Scions, you're the Bolas. Let's send in the Bolas. Oh, I just had lethal, didn't I? Play Borrower, activate Spyglass. Classic CGB.
I've got time.
Classic CGB missing lethal in Game 7. 2 straight misplays to close the day. Just when I thought I was doing all right. Fires. Absorb. Because now if the opponent has a second fires, it's their second spell and they can't cast anything else. Okay, you played a 1/4. Sure. That does not scur me. I can tap it. Give it a little tappy. A tap tap taparoo. Uh-huh. That's a life. That's frustrating. If I want to Insight, I need to do it now. Do I want to? I'm probably just borrowing winning. Yeah, this game's over. Check for lethal, CGB. It's what you didn't do last time. You gonna learn a lesson? Yeah, let's learn the lesson. There's Chandra. All right. Petty theft. Actually, we don't even need this. Simplest solution. Opponent with a nice. Oh, they're a good sport. Good game to you. All right. We have prevailed to 7 victories. The client can't even handle it. Show me the gems. Yeah, baby. And the gold. Another video that ran long. What do you expect from AZORIUS Control? This deck is the best. Try it. You'll enjoy it. Thank you for watching this video. As always, I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.